Well, alright. We all stars. You too. Get your trophy. Well, I guess it's alright. I waited my life for a night like this. Stars shine bright when a night's like this. Feels so good to have a life like this. Cause we all stars. And please, no pictures where I fuck it out, Paul. I guess we came to have a good time. Me, I came to just shine. Yeah, I'm here to make history. Everybody in this crowd gon' remember me. Cause this is my night. Yeah, you're damn right, I'ma do it just right. Cause I don't really know if this is my last time. But what I know is I'm feeling just fine. My life is like a red carpet. And I'm feeling like the richest millionaire. This is my local mayor. And I'm the biggest star around here. Baby, I'm a star. And I'm the biggest one here by far.
Oh, yes, I am. Black Clark Gable, Franklin, I don't give a damn. If you like it or not, I got my fan base. Playing PS3 all in my place. Telling me, won't you play that jam? Take it to the top, oh, yes, I am. And the girls love it. But use that groove for a deeper subject. I need that keep loving. No kissing and hugging, just straight cutting, just like a rapper. Ain't that something? MC status, MJ in his prime, yeah, I'm the baddest.
My life is like a red carpet, and I'm feeling like the richest millionaire. This is my local mayor, and I'm the biggest star around here. Baby, I'm a star, and I'm the biggest one here. And even in the morning, it's a good day. Can't you see how the sun is on me? And baby, it's on me. We going to the top, and baby, it's on me. Cause I'm critically acclaimed. And everybody in the world know my name. Yeah, I know that you want my autograph. Of course, y'all can take my picture. My old friends, I never forget you. My old flames, I never get with you. Cause now I'm a star right in the fast lane. Got a pedal to the metal on the flow. Yeah, I did the most, I'm ready for the show. But you a star too, so just meet me at the door. My life is like a red carpet. Yeah, I'm feeling like the richest millionaire. This is my local mayor. And I'm the biggest star around here. Baby, I'm a star. And I'm the biggest one here by far. And I gotta say that, you know, I don't wanna trade my life in for nothing else. So I guess I'll live like this until I die.
With their hands in the air, rocking side to side. I'm out work, yeah, time to grind. Where my niggas at? My niggas ain't my niggas no more. Push me to the back, label to change up the swag. I do it for us, I'm pro-black. Don't rock it the sheet, yeah. Wooden beats or all type of African shit. Just rock a table fade, swagger tailor-made. Polo collars and fly kicks. Just polo collars and fly kicks. Exclusive shit, not get wet. Keep it coming, just don't stop. The revolution starts with shot.
I'm respectful to my people, and I want to represent my people. And I don't want to be a bad representative. I can't be blind, let the blind lead the blind, they all follow you.
Now my mama said, baby, act like you got sense. They act like I only act right for Lent. Been living in purgatory, brown nosing for heaven. Not sure if I'm getting in, cause I ain't paid a reference. Who looking at me when I ain't looking, judging my character? I can't put down my guard on this planet, back in the camera. Ready for my close-up, the lens gets bigger. Won't play me on BET, cause I am not a nigga. My heart is like a powder keg, ready to explode. Smell like strange fruit, cause I'm America's cologne. It started with the hello, think you're a nice fellow. You're ballin' like Carmelo, we treat you like Othello. LARs, we the stars, turn a rapper to a prophet. Bulletproof 306, keep your hands in your pocket. Jordan rules for my life, you contain them, can't stop them. I'm niggas sky high, so the clouds can't drop them. My life is like a miracle, my words are just superior. I'm edible, I'm audible, I'm digital, I'm visual. Spit like Komodo, go like Bruce Lee, Roy B. And the mean as bad as Mofo in the dojo. Life is so amazing and raps like Jesus. They said hip hop is dead, but today look like Easter.
Salute to everybody in the chat. Welcome to the Black Ocean. This is your host, the Great Black Shark, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to deal with that StephenASmith, that horseshoe crab hairline bastard. Oh, we're going to light his ass up over here tonight because, see, he's mad because the black grassroots have decided to let him know that it's a brand new Black First Day, and he's taking issue with it. So we're going to break down a couple of things over here tonight, not only about StephenASmith, but his master, Jerry Jones, who he's putting the cape on for, and he's made it clear that he's over there and he's team Buck Dance, okay? So without further ado, I want to do what I always do to make sure that everybody can hear me okay in the chat room. Give me a thumbs up or a black fist if you can hear me okay, because we're going to roll through a great deal here tonight. Hopefully there won't be any audio interruptions. So before I get started, let me see a thumbs up or a black fist in the chat if you can hear everything that I'm saying A-okay before we get started, because we got a lot to talk about. I'm going to break this down in a couple of different ways that a lot of people probably going to be too scared to admit or touch on, because, see, over here on my channel, if you're accustomed to my content by now, you know I tell the truth and let the chips fall where they may after I tell it. So before I get into that, I'll deal with this because this is something a lot of y'all have been asking me. Where's the intro music coming from? I'm going to put this playlist in the chat. That intro was done by my brother, LAR Movement, and he has an album called Saga of the Kryptonite Life. Okay, that's his playlist in there right now. You know, okay, so check this out. If you want to listen to his content and his music, go over there and check the brother out. He has great content. And anybody coming here trolling, go ahead and get them up out of here, man. Let me go ahead and take care of this, because one thing you're not going to do is troll on my channel. So let me go ahead and get that clown up out of here. But yeah, Saga of the Kryptonite Life by my boy LAR Movement. Check his channel out, check his content out. A lot of good content over there, especially for the brothers. And he's an excellent artist, one of the most underrated content creators on YouTube. But I digress. Let's get into what we're going to talk about here. So, as we all know, we heard StephenASmith's comments, which we're going to analyze here tonight, where he was talking about, Jerry Jones was just 14 at the time. Well, we starting the program out tonight, and we looking at two other young black children who were just 14 at the time that they were unjustly lynched and murdered. We see our young brother Emmett Till, who was lynched in 1955, and our young brother George Stinney Jr., who was executed by electric chair in 1944 for something he did not do. Okay? The youngest person in the country ever to be executed by electric chair for that. So StephenASmith, when you get to talking about people that was just 14 and all of that, they were just 14 too, you horseshoe crab hairline having bastard. And see, when it comes to this whole issue of the dominant society having so much sympathy for their little demon spawn that participate in the system of white supremacy, they don't have that same compassion for Tamir Rice, a little 7-year-old Aiyana Jones who was shot in her head while she was sleeping in her bed. See, I'm going to say something here tonight, because this broadcast is going to piss a lot of people off, but I'm going to tell you like this. If you a hit dog, you going to holler. Let me go ahead and give this disclaimer. I am talking about this specific Sambo. I ain't talking about all people that are Caribbean or of Caribbean descent or continental Africans, but we're going to have to get some straightening here tonight, because, see, this is one of the differences between us and them. Integrity. In order to do anything and build anything and get any type of respect as a black man, you have to have integrity. And you don't have integrity by kissing ass for white people. I don't care how much money they pay you. It's some things that are supposed to be worth more than money to you. Okay? So we're going to get into that tonight, because, see, again, y'all look at the screen right here. See, for those of us who are of this lineage that are foundational black Americans, this means something to us that it doesn't mean to any other group, especially the dominant society. And unfortunately, some Caribbeans and continental Africans, because these are of our lineage. Those are our children. Those are our children right there that we're looking at on that screen that was unjustly murdered, and their families never got justice for it. We saw with Emmett Till the situation with that old rotten bitch, and may she suffer for all eternity. Carolyn Dunham Brown, her old ass is still kicking. They found the search warrant that was supposed to be served to arrest this motherfucker, and they won't serve it. So now let me ask you, family, do you think any black woman could falsely accuse a little white kid or something, and then that white kid is executed or killed, and they wouldn't go and execute that search warrant? See, StephenASmith, you punk bitch, and yeah, you might not better have your kids in the room, because I'm not going to hold shit back tonight. You punk bitch, I'm talking directly to you. You say you got shots fired at the new black media and those of us who criticize you, well, you better get ready, because see, I'm going to lay into your ass the way grown foundational black American men are supposed to. We feel that, okay? It's not a joke when we see this old racist bastard in a damn mob sitting up here with a bunch of white supremacists trying to prevent black children from going to school. It would have been one thing had they done something to somebody that was just trying to get an education. But see, your punk ass and many of the rest of you tethers in the tether class that come over here, your family didn't have to go through that. And then you have the nerve to kind of speak up and talk about you being left out of reparations for something you and your people didn't experience. We don't go to nobody else's country. We don't go to South Africa and demand to get reparations for apartheid. We went over there. See, to add insult to injury, not only do you do that, then you turn around and side with our oppressors. See, I'm going to say something here tonight, and like I said, you may not hear other men say this, but I'm going to say it here. One of the differences between foundational black Americans, especially foundational black American men, is we have to look at ourselves in the mirror, and there's certain things that we just won't do because we know how that reflects upon our manhood. We know how that reflects upon the other people in our community and our families that are looking up to us to see what a man is supposed to be like. You punk ass tethers like StephenASmith, y'all don't have no type of integrity or shame like that. You don't value anything. That's why you run from where you from instead of standing up like men and going back over there to make your countries the places that you want them to be. And again, I'm not knocking all the brothers and sisters that are continental Africans or Caribbean people. We're going to point out some clear distinctions about why you can't get nowhere back in your homeland. Or we're going to talk about it over here tonight. Because see, one thing that you will never see most of us doing, and even if you do find some of us that start cooning like that and side with them folks and just blowing things up under the rug that we know affected our people in a detrimental way and still continue to, you would see us ostracize them. And see, for far too long, we tried to have this thing where, oh, we all black, everybody's black. Let me tell y'all something right now, and I want even my own cold continental African and Caribbean family to listen to this. Here's what separates us. Yeah, you black like me, but are you on code against white supremacy with me? Are you that? Because see, if you're not there, ain't nothing we can do together. Because see, I'm gonna tell y'all something else. Even amongst our own lineage, let me tell you something that I'm cautious of, right? And this is, I'm talking to you, StephenASmith, because you got a bad habit of doing this. I ain't gonna tell no lies on you. Everything I say about you over tonight is gonna be nothing but the gospel truth. I don't tell lies on this channel. Anytime you see a black person, especially a black man, that just have so much reverence and so much praise for a man in the dominant society that's a part of the oppressor class, that's nobody you can trust. I don't want nobody like that nowhere near me. It's a difference between learning from somebody and picking up game or picking up any type of skill set from somebody, but it's totally different when you start to worship these motherfuckers. You ain't worth nothing, not only to other men, but you damn sure ain't worth nothing to the women and children from where you from. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go there tonight. But see, let me show y'all something, right? We're gonna really break down some things about this photo of Jerry Jones that a lot of people probably hadn't covered yet. Let's take a look at it, right? Here's the photo. Okay, you see the red circle. That's little pepperhead Jerry Jones back there. Now, really look at this crowd. Let's study this photo, right? This was during Jim Crow, okay? Trying to desegregate schools. You see 2 little black children in this photo. That's it, 2. Before we get to that, let me tell you something, man. Everybody that's in this chat tonight, if you're a foundational Black American, you need to pop your motherfucking collar. Because, see, let me tell you something, man. Imagine what it would have been like back then at the height of Jim Crow, and then only two of you go and it's a crowd right there, and look at them. They ain't afraid. Man, I don't know who those two kids are, but, man, my hat is off to them. They are from a lineage of courage, and that's what most of us are from. It don't take but two of us to face down a whole mob full of them fucking cowards. But that's exactly what they are, and that's what they always have been. Look at their faces. See, here's the thing about being a black man, okay? I'm going to speak on this. The thing about being a black man, we don't really have the same fear that the rest of these other groups over here have, especially the ones that join in with the oppressor class when you know you technically not white. Yes, some of you Hispanics, Asians, Arab, East Indians, yeah, I'm talking to you, and especially the Caribbeans and continental Africans that have the StephenASmith mindset. Yeah, I'm talking to all of y'all. See, a lot of y'all, all it takes is for one or two white supremacists to show up and raise their voice, and then you ducking and hide like a bunch of punk bitches. Never mind that the women depending on you. Never mind that the children depending on you to build. You let one or two motherfuckers come over to where you at and make you bow down. We don't have that in us, man. You know why? Because we come from a stock where they threw everything in the book at us. We ain't even supposed to be here by a lot of their studies. We still here. We ain't going no damn well. We got a debt to settle. You gonna pay them reparations one way or another, and that's what it is. But see, I'm saying it as a black man who is at the forefront of this shit. I'm gonna be out here for my people. Salute to my brother Greg Marcel Dixon, man, and Tariq, brother Jason Black, Professor Black Truth, all my sisters out here, man, that do this thing with us on the ground, Lioness Crown. I mean, salute to Sister D. Tubman, Taisha Essex. There's a whole bunch of people that I gotta pop my collar and tip my hat to. Salute to Sister Vicky Diller. All these people, man. See, I'm trying to tell y'all exactly why StephenASmith has the issue that he has. Because, see, when you know that you're a coward, let's talk about cowardice. Because, again, when you look at these two young black men right here in this photo, that's the furthest thing from cowardice. You got to have a heart to stand up to a mob full of motherfuckers that you know can legally kill you and get away with it. Real talk. See, the reason why he's so upset, when you're a coward, especially as a man, all men of every group are supposed to be the builders and protectors of their societies. When you're a coward as a man, and you have to walk around other groups of men that are not cowards, that bothers you. It eats your punk ass up every day. Because, see, you can fool the people around you. You can get a bunch of group of coons around you and have a coon comfort circle. But at the end of the day, around other straight-laced men that are not cowards, you can't come around us. You will never have our respect. You're not going to live the type of life we live, and nobody's going to remember you when you're gone. Think about it. How many cowards and traitors do we really remember unless they are connected to betraying somebody like our grandmaster teachers, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King? Okay, the names go on and on. You know what I'm talking about. The only way we remember you cowards is if you connected to somebody that was of a benefit and lived with integrity towards our people. Okay? That's what it really is. See, you're not fooling me, Stephen. You can have all the money that you want. You can get on whatever TV show they put you on, get whatever deal they give you. At the end of the day, you're missing your manhood, boy. Yeah, that's what it really is. See, look at the faces of these kids in this photo, right? Let's zoom in a little bit closer. See, I want to point this out, and I want to make this stick why those of that generation that stood up and didn't sell out, that I hold a lot of respect for, because we're going to do a comparison on what that looks like versus the ones that really just gave up and threw in the towel. Look at their faces, man. Back then, these are the faces of little white supremacists that have been taught that from the time that they was able to speak. Especially the little punk in the front with the cigarette in his mouth. See, I'm going to tell you something about this photo right here. They all gathered up in groups like they've always had to do wherever they went in the world throughout history. I'm going to tell you something, right? I bet you not one of them little punk-ass Alabaster punks would square up with none of them boys one-on-one. I bet you they wouldn't do that. You always got to have a group of them. And see, that's the reason why the greater majority of them have to have all this damn police, military hardware to deal with black folks with simple signs protesting. You got to have military combat gear to deal with people that's protesting with signs. Do you, man, black men in this chat right here, let me tell y'all something, man. Be thankful that you wake up every day as a black man if you're not like StephenASmith, because, see, that is the height of punk bitchery. I wouldn't even publicly let nobody know I was that fearful of people that way. People that don't have no power. You got a whole system on your side with a bunch of laws that let you get away with everything you want to get away with. You got all the money at the top of the economic food chain where you cheat and rob and steal and make sure can't nobody else get fair opportunities. You got everything handed to you and you still have to cheat. Do you understand why now that I look at most of their men as a pseudo form of masculinity? Those aren't men. Look, men build shit with our bare hands and our own minds. We don't have to cheat to do nothing. What we do, if we fall short of a goal, we go back to the drawing board and say, you know what? Let me see where I went wrong. Let me see what I need to adjust. Let me pick these tools up. Let's start building again. Let's get this thing right. And then we build not just for ourselves, we build for our entire communities. Those of us that are worth a damn, okay? These little punk bastards right now, all of them probably in Jerry Jones' age range, they ain't really built nothing. Everything they get was handed down to them. That's all it ever is. See, you need to understand something, black folks. You don't have to be super wealthy for these bastards to envy you. All you have to do is just be somebody living moderately decent. Because, see, they know every time they look at one of us, we had to get it out the mud in spite of all the obstacles that they put in front of us. These little punk bitches ain't never had to do that. Look at all of them, man. A bunch of weak pseudo versions of masculinity. That's all they really are, man. Let's look at another shot of this photo. Here's the one right here where punk ass Jerry Jones right there. Now, do y'all really think that he was just watching? Because, see, back during this time period, we all know as kids, especially how they get down, if you don't participate in the white supremacy, they turn on you. I guarantee you he was out there yelling and calling them all kinds of niggas and N-words, and they probably were throwing things at them boys too. But I tell you what I really do hope. Don't know the entire history of the photo, but I hope they whoop some of their asses if they had to do it. Because, see, again, look at the faces of them up there. Look at them. Over there on the left side. Look at them, man. That much fear in you, man, over two people? Oh, man, look, y'all don't understand, man. And see, a lot of people don't really point this stuff out, but we have to do it. We have to do it because, see, we need our children to understand the stock of courage that they come from. Again, look at the older white supremacists in this photo back there, right? Look at them. Ain't none of them trying to say nothing to them kids. Ain't none of them trying to be what men would do, be like, hey, man, them kids ain't doing nothing to y'all, man. Let them go to school. Cool, you don't like them. They ain't doing nothing to you. See, this is exactly why they're having the problems they're having in their society right now, because they ignore the threats amongst them that end up turning on their own people, but you're always looking at the black folks. Just like that last broadcast that I did yesterday, showing y'all about all that different types of surveillance. If you hadn't checked that out, do so when you get the chance. They focus all their energy and time on trying to oppress us when the problem's right among you. Look at how they have these issues set up. For example, let's use Oregon. Instead of them saying, okay, we're going to treat our drug addicts the same way they did black people during the crack epidemic, which they put the shit in our neighborhoods, okay? Oh, it's a health issue now. So instead of punishing white people, oh, let's coddle them. Let's just make all the drugs legal. Yeah, okay. How's that working out for you, dominant society? Black folks ain't got nothing to do with that. See, for you white supremacists that's listening, let me go ahead and make something clear to you about white supremacy. Yeah, it's cool. It's the sweet spot. You get to do everything that you want to do under the system of white supremacy and get away with it. Here's the caveat. The system is a cancer to itself. All that shit that you allowing your folks to get away with comes back to bite you in the ass. That's exactly what happens. You don't punish your own criminals. You're always looking at black people as if we the face of criminality. How? There is not one crime that you can point out that a black person has done and say that we better at it than you. Really? You global genocide world record holders are going to tell us that we outdid you at criminality? Everything you do, you steal. Everywhere you look at, where you go, where they are, they've stolen shit from people. Where you think all the wealth come from in the United Kingdom? You stole all that from Africa. You still got their artifacts sitting in museums. Everything that we've designed, all these inventions, you stole from our people over here. There's no telling how much intellectual property has been lost from them stealing from our ancestors who were enslaved on these plantations that built every damn thing that's worth a damn. I ain't even got to name the list of stuff. The filament in the light bulb, okay? Open heart surgery, refrigerated trucks, home security system, all these different things. An entire fucking city, Benjamin Banneker. Man, don't get me started on that, man. All you do is steal, and then you project that on the other people. Because you know why? When you come from cowardice stock like these punks in this damn photo, you know you don't really have no other history. See, think about it. I'm gonna hurt some feelings here tonight. For you white supremacists in the dominant society, okay? And no, I'm not talking about white people, so I don't want to hear nobody crying about that. For you white supremacists in the dominant society, ask yourself this question, because see, this is what a lot of black people don't talk about when we address you. But again, I'm going to say it tonight. Let me ask you this. If we were to remove the parts of your history that included you stealing from people, what history would you really have? Oh, yeah. Oh, you don't like that, do you? What history would you really have if we just took away, if we say, okay, all the shit that you stole, we ain't going to count that. What did you do by yourself? Nothing. Nothing. And I'm going to prove it. Why y'all think they always have to make up all these damn fantasy shows and movies about them in medieval times and all of that? So I'll tell y'all something that a lot of y'all probably don't know. All them castles over there in the UK, that was built by the Moors, man. Them white people didn't build that shit. Just like the plantations over here were built by our ancestors. They don't have nothing to stand on, so you got to fabricate shit. In case y'all was wondering why they get so irate when you start messing with their little fantasy characters, they don't have no real history. They don't. And then, let's go ahead and really tell the truth. This was gonna really chaff your asses over here. Here's the thing. Any real history that you connected to, you had to have black people right there to help make it a success. Everything from every war we've ever fought in this country, oh yeah, I'm going there with it. Everything. You wouldn't be nothing without us because you can't survive on your own. You like a bunch of fucking parasites. That's all you do. So for anybody like StephenASmith to be looking up to a parasite, what the fuck does that say about you, StephenASmith? Yeah, we going here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to analyze that photo because, see, we're going to play a couple of clips here tonight. And I'm going to get to him. Trust me, Mr. Horseshoe Crab is going to get the business over here tonight. Since you say it's shots fired, motherfucker, I'm taking the first one. Let's go with it then. I want y'all to pay attention to these clips right quick.
There is Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. He's among a crowd of white students who were confronting black students as they were attempting to enter the North Little Rock High School. Jones was asked about that photo, why he was in it, what it meant after the Cowboys Thanksgiving game yesterday. This is what he said.
That was, 65 years ago, and a curious kid. I didn't know at the time the monumental event, really, that was going on, and
bullshit, Jerry Jones, you skeletor face looking fucker. Yes, the hell you did know the monumental event that was going on. You know how I know he knew it? Because racism don't just pop up out of nowhere. Your parents taught that to you, Jerry. Yeah. Oh, we're going to break it down over here from the A-road to the zero tonight. You didn't know what was going on. Your little punk ass was right there with the rest of your little racist pals out there, man. Scared to death that them black children was going to come over there because, see, this is another thing that they hate about us as a black man. Because, see, I celebrate it every day. There can't nobody make me regret being what I naturally am. We don't even be seeking the attention of your women, and we can't keep them motherfuckers away from us. Now, I can't stand their asses. I don't want nothing to do with them. No offense, whatever, take it how you want to take it. White woman ain't got shit to offer me. Go be with your own kind. I don't trust you like that because just like I showed at the beginning of this broadcast, most of y'all come from stock that did that shit to Emmett Till and George Stinney Jr. And see, if you say, oh, it was a long time ago. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Oh, bed bugs, go ahead and get ready to get mad. Let me tell you why I don't fuck with Becky like that. Show me the large numbers of white women in America right now in 2022 saying, lock Carolyn Bryant's old ass up. Where the fuck they at? Tell me nothing about no goddamn white women. You know what? Let me let Jerry finish talking, though.
I'm sure glad that we're a long way from that. I am. And we just, that would remind me just continue to do everything we can to not have those kinds of things happen.
Jerry, do you understand the perception that people have of you standing there? Because that was not exactly a welcoming committee that day.
Yeah, I sure do. And I understand that.
That photo was taken just weeks, of course, before the Little Rock 9 integrated a separate school, Little Rock Central High School. At the time, President Eisenhower had dispatched federal troops to help escort the 9 black students past those resisting them entering the school. It became a pivotal moment in the civil rights movement. So joining us now to talk about this is a member of the Little Rock 9, Ernest Green.
Now, I want y'all to pay close attention to what this man is about to say. And I'm going to put this as delicately as I can when addressing the elders in our community that speak like him. But we have to make sure that young black men, especially young black people, but young black men especially, know this ain't it right here. I'm going to let him do his own talking. Then I'm going to point out exactly what's wrong with what he's about to say.
And Ernest, good morning, and thank you for being with us. And I think first off, we just want to get your reaction to what Jerry Jones said as he's explaining his presence in that photo.
Well, good morning to both of you and to the audience. Well, my view is that Jerry Jones has an opportunity to make that picture have a different ending by pursuing diversity and inclusion and
No, Ernest, no. We don't need diversity and inclusion. You know what Jerry Jones need to do? See, in fact, the business, let me take the time out to deeply and the most heartfelt and give my thanks to the Jewish community when they came at our brother Kyrie Irving, because they gave us a standard that we should adopt going forward now. Know what that standard is? I like that list that they put out. Oh, yeah. That list that you put out on our brother Kyrie Irving, hey, we need to borrow that. Yeah, let's get that cracking. The only thing Jerry Jones need to include us in, let's get in them pockets, billionaire boy. I like that. I don't want you to sell your team. I don't want none of that. You need to break bread, buddy. Yeah, you need to cut the check. And you need to get busy on the rest of that list. But first, you need to go ahead and start giving us some of that money. You need to be punished for that, because if you're going to hold Bill Cosby accountable for stuff that you made up all these damn decades ago that happened, we're going to hold you accountable for that. See, I've always said it over here on this channel. I believe that our people, foundational black Americans, freedmen, should adopt the Nuremberg standard. That's right. I don't give a damn if you're 90 years old. You got to come do this time. That's why I want Carolyn Bryant's ass locked up. I don't give a damn what you on. Get that oxygen chain, get your ass in this jail cell, because you would do it to us, and you have done it to us. I don't want apologies. I don't want diversity. And all I want to be is included in them zeros in that bank account. Let's get it, Jerry. I'm going to let him finish talking, though.
Involvement of the African American community, of people of color all throughout this country.
It wasn't people of color that this motherfucker has been oppressing. That people of color term right there, that is a curse word, if ever any. Yeah, I'm using some over here tonight, but that people of color, that's the worst one of all. Don't ever accept that shit. I'm black. What was done to foundational black Americans, not no people of color. They hadn't treated any other group in this country the way that they have treated us. They've gotten dealt with and hazed a while, but eventually they let them on to be classified as white. That's not us. Okay? So miss me with that people of color bullshit. I don't ever use that term. I never do. And see, I want y'all to listen to the tone of Ernest Green here, because see, Yes, he's an elder. He's an elderly man, but I want you to hear what somebody that's tired sounds like. When I say tired, I'm talking about you just done gave up and threw in the towel. See, when you become an older man or an older black person especially, and you know the things that you know and you've seen these things that this man has seen, it's supposed to be ingrained in you that if you didn't get justice during your time, you got to fight with everything that you have left to make sure the next generation get what they're supposed to get. And you don't do that by saying what this man is saying. I want y'all to pay attention to him.
Dallas Cowboys is an institution that most Americans know something about it. Professional football is an entity that everybody has some interest in, and I think that rather than talk to Jerry about what happened in 1957, let's go forward and see what we can do in this year.
Nope, no, Ernest. Now we got to talk about it, and we need to do something about it. He need to come up out that bag. But like I said, if you gonna go after Kyrie Irving for simply posting a link, and then on top of all the other racist and anti-black practices that Jerry Jones has been known to conduct himself in and involve himself in over the years, it ain't just a photo. Now we see where it come from for real. Oh yeah, see, I ain't with all this giving all this grace to these people. You know why? Because I'm not going to give the dominant society nothing they don't give my people. And I don't feel guilty about it. I'm not ashamed of it. And if I have anything to do with it, ain't nobody in this chat room or on any of my platforms going to feel guilty about it. Why in the hell should I feel guilty about giving them something that they don't give none of our people? Look at those little children at the beginning of this broadcast that lost their lives unjustly. Where was their grace and mercy at? Where was the white people saying, wait a minute, let's make sure we got the right people if something was done, if anything was done at all? Where they was at? I hadn't said, we don't know about them back then, and we don't see them today. Because like I said, where was they at for Tamir Rice? When Ayanna Jones, 7 years old, was shot in her head in her damn bed, where was the white people across this country saying, that's unacceptable, that's a child? I didn't see it. Tell me about no grace for these motherfuckers. Check this out. And see, check this out. Here's another thing, right? Now that clip has come to an end, I want to point something out about this, right? Yes, I know John Lewis is gone. Rest his soul. I'm not going to speak ill of the dead. But what I am showing you this for is, you don't do this. Everybody know what he used to say about getting beat up on that bridge in Selma and all of that. Read this tweet that John Lewis put out when he was alive. I was beaten bloody by police officers, but I never hated them. I said, thank you for your service. No, absolutely not. That is insanity of the highest order. You don't thank nobody for their damn service when they've tried to take your ass out of existence for no reason other than you just being black. No. Yes, he was an elder. But no, we don't let this slide. We don't let this slide because, see, we have a responsibility to make sure that young black people understand what oppression is and how you deal with it. And that is not how you deal with oppression. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Don't you ever tell black children that they're supposed to be thankful for being mistreated, even if it's not physical. See, the mindset of that slave on the plantation, it survived. It survived, and it's been handed down and passed down throughout generations. And unfortunately, we see it in people like John Lewis when he was alive, Elijah Cummings when he was alive. Unfortunately, Ernest Green still living. You see what I'm saying? That can't continue. We have to make a demarcation between that and being a stand-up black person that fights oppression, because it's not a matter of opinion. It's not, okay, it was just words. This is a matter of life or death for our people. These people are trying to kill us every day in a multitude of ways. This is not a survival mindset right here in this tweet. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're going to also take a look at here tonight the mentality about some people in our society where as soon as they see an old white person, they just automatically forget what these people were connected to, like a Jerry Jones. We're going to get into that tonight. I want to show y'all something here. Check this out.
When I marched in the civil rights movement, I marched with tens of thousands of others to change attitudes.
When I was about the age of the guy standing over there, I got involved in the civil rights movement. You know, when I was a teenager in Delaware, for real, I got involved in the civil rights movement.
I was not an activist. I worked at an all-black swimming pool in the east side of Wilmington, Delaware. I was involved. I was involved in what they were thinking, what they were feeling. I was involved, but I was not out marching. I was not down in Selma. I was not anywhere else.
More than once, advisors had gently reminded Mr. Biden of the problem with this formulation. He had not actually marched during the civil rights movement, and more than once, Mr. Biden assured them that he understood, kept telling the story anyway. That is really, really weird.
Now, I included this clip of Jim Crow Joe Biden in here telling that damn lie because, see, we still have a bunch of Biden sexuals out here turning the other cheek on the recent lie that he told. Remember when he got in office? Oh, the African-American community has always had my back and I'm going to always have yours. Where's all them promises that you made, Jim Crow Joe? Where's that police accountability oversight committee? And then you got in here, man, when you started signing them executive orders left and right until your pen caught on fire. Oh, you got money for any and everybody except the people who built this damn country that are owed the most, foundational Black American freedmen. Where our bag at? Asians gonna get a hate crime bill before us. And then you got people that still giving these people a pass. See, I'm showing you this clip where he told them lies because, see, for some reason, and I understand the reason because Dr. John Henry Clark spoke on this. It is a great quality of our people, but it is also a double-edged sword. We have a beautiful humanity about us. We really do. And unfortunately, our forgiveness and our kindness has been slanted towards our oppressors a lot of times versus being directed towards our own people. So when you see a lying son of a bitch like Joe Biden up here talking about he was in the civil rights movement, then it come out and show that he wasn't, and he could continually perpetuate that lie, and then you author the 94 crime bill, and you doing everything that you're doing today, you still got some of our people want to give him a pass. That is a sickness. That is a sickness. And see, this is why we do what we do over here in New Black Media to combat that sickness, to make sure that it does not continue on into the next generation of Black people. No, it can't continue. It can't continue. I just wanted to point that out to y'all because, see, it's all going to tie in with everything that we're talking about here tonight. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to what our Grandmaster teacher Malcolm taught us about these liberals. And trust me, be patient. We're going to get to StephenASmith. Oh, we're going to get to his ass. We're going to get to him. But I'm including this message in here in case there's any young people watching this live or recorded. I want you to hear it from our Grandmaster teachers because, see, one of the most important things that we can do, even though we're carrying the torch for them to finish the work that they started, in whatever ways that we can, we have to always make sure that our young people understand who our Grandmaster teachers were and where we got the game from, okay? So we can pass this on. Because, see, when you pass down knowledge, you also pass down the fighting spirit of our people, okay? One of the main weapons that you need to win a war, I don't care how many guns, bullets, armor you got, if you don't have the proper thinking, the proper wisdom, you've already failed before you shot the first shot. So I want y'all to pay attention to what Brother Malcolm's about to say about these damn liberals.
Whites who are trying to solve the problem, but you never see them going under the label of liberals. That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox, and a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming. You know what he's up to, but the fox will fool you. He comes at you with his mouth shaped in such a way that even though you see his teeth, you think he's smiling. You take him for a friend.
This is...
Now, y'all heard our brother Malcolm break that down, right? Okay? And see, we see that proven true today. We see that proven true today. That's exactly how the Democrats act today, and I'm not giving the Republicans a pass. What I am saying is make sure that you understand that Jim Crow Joe and this Democratic Party that we have in office is the most anti-black version of the Democrats I've ever seen in my life. Think about it. This is not benign neglect. This is malignant neglect. This is malevolent neglect right here. You get in office and you immediately just leapfrog the people that helped get your old wrinkled up ass in office despite everything you done to us. You ain't never came back and hooked us up with none of that stuff you talking about, Jim Crow Joe. You've made nothing right at all. And see, those of us with sense gonna hold you accountable for it. And see, I'm saying this to the Biden sexuals, right? You got it wrong because you let one white supremacist make you afraid of another. You don't ever, ladies and gentlemen in this chat, especially young people, hear what I'm telling you and carry this with you for the rest of your life. You do not ever make decisions based on fear. When you are afraid, which is a normal human emotion, what you do is step back and you start to think, especially if you're not in any immediate danger. Look at Donald Trump. He wasn't the first Republican white supremacist president we've had. All of them are white supremacists. We survived. We here. Gotta get Trump out. Gotta get Trump out. Let me tell you something. What we kept telling you Biden sexuals was, okay, you want to get Trump out? Guess what you're supposed to do? It's going to cost you. What we get if we help you do it? That's exactly the type of time everybody in black society is supposed to be on. You want something from us? Okay, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. All right, so this is what it's going to cost. This is what I'm going to need from you. And I'm going to need some of that up front. In fact, the business, since we can't trust you, go ahead and drop 75% of that up front right now. So if you do decide to fuck us over, well, at least we got this 75% from you. That's how we got to do business. The kid gloves are off. We got to be cutthroat with these motherfuckers, family. No more games because, see, we're in a do-or-die situation. We can't afford to play this. So I'm going to play this next clip here, Don Lemonade punk ass, and y'all already know how I feel about him. I'm going to let y'all hear this, and we're going to break down the problem that I had with this bastard. Because like I said, we going to get to StephenASmith. I got something for his ass. Oh, yes.
A fascinating piece of reporting that we're going to talk about now. We're going to start with this photo. It's from September 9, 1957, and it shows Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones among a crowd of white students trying to keep black students from integrating at an Arkansas high school. This is a Washington Post reporting. Reports that Jones, who was 14 at the time, could be seen standing a few yards from where the 6 black students were being jostled and repelled with snarling racial slurs by ringleaders of the mob. So joining us now, sports and feature columnist at the Washington Post, Sally Jenkins. Sally broke this story along with her co-author, David Moranis. We're so happy that you could join us this morning.
Now, let's be clear. Let's be clear. I don't want anybody over here in this chat room to think that I'm under the illusion that this white woman give a damn about producing justice because, see, if you really care about producing justice, they know where all the bones are buried on their people. I'm 100% aware that these are people that have a personal grudge against Jerry Jones. So I just want to put that out there, okay? And I want most black people to understand that, especially when it comes to politics, Republican or Democrat, when they start coming forward talking about this one or that one did this on the other side, these people have known that all along. They play games. All you have to do is look at how their commercials are set up when it's time for them to run for campaigns. You don't never hear them talking about none of that shit until it's election season. So that lets you know it's a game. So I just want to put that out there. But I want y'all to hear this helper right here talking.
Thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And again, I have to commend you on your reporting. This whole thing is right. I mean, it's really stunning. It's fascinating. So let's start with the picture, okay, and then we'll talk about, you know, how we could have sort of moved diversity along with coaching in the NFL and in sports. Let's start with this photograph, though. What did you learn about this from this photograph?
Well, I think the first thing you learn is just how widespread the segregationists were in Little Rock and North Little Rock. Jerry Jones is.
See, let me point it out right here. Sally Jenkins, whatever the hell her name is. When you hear white people come forward and they're talking about they trying to expose something, notice what they never really call the people that participate in this shit. They don't ever say white supremacists. Because that's what they are. That's what they are. I don't even use the term racist. Racism is what they practice. These are white supremacists in this photo. Watch the wording. I want y'all to catch that. I'm going to let her talk.
High school was North Little Rock, which was across the Arkansas River from Central High School, which is the school that got all of the attention when Eisenhower sent in federal troops to protect the Little Rock Nine at that school over there. But the segregationist agitators were actually very active on both sites. And the fact that we knew that generationally, Jerry Jones had to have experienced the events in Little Rock more generally, but to find him in the photograph and to learn that he experienced one of those incidents right on the schoolhouse steps was pretty.
Listen to how she described it, experienced an incident. See, what I try to teach y'all when I show you anything dealing with the dominant society over here, I want you to notice how, even though she's doing this, notice what she's not saying. If any of you over here are not familiar with Lee Atwater, I suggest you go down the archives of my channel and study the Southern strategy and what he spoke on that. I have that over here. This entire channel is dedicated to educating my people on white supremacy and how it's used in past and present day, okay? Listen to what she's describing that. She's saying incident. She's not saying that it's white supremacy. She's not saying that it's wrong. She's just saying an incident. So it looked like she exposing shit, but notice what she's not saying. I want to make sure that y'all pay attention.
Revelatory. We were blown away, to put it mildly.
Let me ask you about this picture just quickly here, because he's saying, you know, I was just there. I wasn't participating. I was there just sort of to observe. But with the photograph, which you point out in your reporting, is that in order to get where he was at the top of those stairs, that he had to get up there pretty quickly, and those were sort of the students that were keeping the black students from entering. Does this say anything about his participation? Are you making any sort of judgment about it, or?
No, two things. First of all, he's a little at the time, so he's actually younger than the ringleaders that you can see in the photographs. That's one thing that we noticed. We did look at a sequence of photos.
See, listen to how she's saying, well, he was actually younger than the ringleaders in the photograph. That don't mean shit. Let me tell you why it don't mean shit, family. Don't matter what age any of them in this photo were, they were all on code with white supremacy against these black students, okay? And you see the third young brother right there, okay? Look at how they all surrounded them like this. See, man, look, again, I'm glad they showing this shot of that photograph. You would never see a group of black men surround anybody's children like this, man. We don't do that. You a bunch of punk bitches for this, man. And see, everybody that's in that Jerry Jones age range, they got photos like this that they share in private. They got clan rolls all in the closet. You better believe if you deal with anybody in Jerry Jones' age in the dominant society, man, that N-word was commonplace in their household, and it's been passed down through generations. You know why I know that? Because if it wasn't the case, the behavior would have changed by now. I'm just saying. Let me let this heifer finish talking.
Leading up to those schoolhouse steps, and the white teenagers on the steps did have to move around the black students to get to the top of the steps. Nevertheless, he is further back. He is younger than the lead participants. And so I think that, you know, you simply have to take him at his word unless something else appears, that he was there.
No, the fuck I don't, bitch. No, I don't. I don't have to take him at his word. And I'm glad she said that, because, see, let me deal with something right now when it comes to that. And salute to you there in the chat room, Brother Norma X. I see you, Brother Torian Rain, Project Leroy. You know, everybody that's in, Sister Patricia Jenkins, okay? I'm pissed off. That's why I got the stutter mouth here. But salute to everybody that showed up. We don't have to take none of these white supremacists at their words. In fact, you's a damn fool if you believe anything that come out their little thin lips. I'm going to tell you like my granddad told me, if their thin lips is moving, they're lying. You better double check and triple check everything that they tell you, and then check again just to be sure that it didn't change in the last few seconds that you verified it. See, this whole brainwash thing right here, that's something that, see, when we look at white supremacy, let me put it this way. A lot of our people don't realize how brainwashed we are and conditioned to just believe anything that a white person says. Oh, it must be right. White people said it. You got a lot of our people over here that we could be trying to tell them something, educate them. Like, for example, I'm going to like take the last broadcast I did yesterday. I broke down thorough information on all types of surveillance and communication devices, because I know that's a part of my profession. I'm familiar with all of these types of different equipment and technology. That's what I do. You could take a white person and say that same thing, man, and they'll be like, oh my God, I've never heard this before. Plenty of you content creators here probably can relate to that. Okay, so the point that I'm making is this. This whole, well, we just have to take him at his word for it. Why? Y'all don't take black people at our word? Because like the brother in the chat room just said, okay, do the police and the courts care who the oldest or youngest when it's a gang or black people? They don't even care. All you got to do is just be standing next to them and they'll be like, well, all of y'all niggas is guilty. You all there. See, again, I'm going to do something that they hate for us to do. When it comes to that photograph that all of y'all just seen, always look at it this way. Switch the races in that photo to a bunch of black people and 2 or 3 little white children. And do you think the dominant society will be singing, well, you know, hey, they was just kids at the time, you know, Bob Jones or whatever, you know, he was just 14 and, you know, we got to take him at his word. You know, we don't know if he was participating in what the other black people was doing to the white kids. We know that wouldn't ever come out their mouth. This whole benefit of the doubt that they want us to give Jerry Jones and StephenASmith want us to give Jerry Jones, they don't give it to us? Nah, see, one thing I'm going to teach you over here is reciprocation. Don't give them nothing they don't give us. Let me let this helper finish talking, man.
More out of curiosity and fascination, as opposed to being really at the very epicenter of the active events. He does remember, one thing he told us that did not make it in the story is that he does remember that it got physical.
I'll bet he do remember that it got physical because he participated in it. I guarantee you he did. See, think about it, right? Let me show y'all something, right? I'm going to tell you how I know that little punk bitch Jerry Jones was involved in whatever physical altercation happened during that thing. They are not good at thinking for themselves. Think about it now. The dominant society, they follow a sheep and a herd mentality. Do you really think that if his friends got physical, and I'm going to show you where I'm going with this, I know that's a lie that he didn't participate and that we don't have to take him at his word. You really think that his friends, if they jumped on them kids, man, that he was going to be the one left out? Because see, I'm going to show you how I know better than that. Think about their fathers at the time. Oh yeah, we finna go here with it. Think about their fathers at the time. Don't you know that if them other little white kids saw another little white male, especially not participating and physically violating black folks, that they was going to run and talk that in the neighborhood, and when their fathers found out, they were going to pull their boy to the side and be like, look here, Junior, I know I'm raising little white supremacists over here, or do you like niggers? You a nigger lover, boy? Oh, yeah, that's exactly what that conversation would have been. You ain't telling me nothing. He did participate. Because, see, if you don't, or if you would have tried to stand up for him, they was going to get you next. He trying to tell me that his punk ass didn't participate. The only way he wouldn't have been able to participate is if he couldn't get close enough to do anything, and I guarantee he was throwing stuff. Let's let him continue, though.
Tough guys that you see in the center of the photograph end up really pushing the kids down off the steps. And in fact, one of them is arrested.
I hope everyone takes a moment to read the reporting that that you and David did as they watch football, because the reason you did.
That's a good point, too, Brother Torian Rain. Yeah, they still holding Chris Brown accountable for something that he did when he was 19, okay? And, you know, none of us are saying that was right. You know, he paid for what he did. He didn't get away with that. He paid for what he did, right? So like the Brother Torian Rain is saying, they don't look at him as, oh, he was just a teenager, you know. They don't look at none of the extenuating circumstances with that, not justifying it. But what I'm saying is, like he's saying, Brother Torian Rain in the chat, they don't give our kids that grace at all. They're men at the time that they're 11 years old. What do they call Tamir Rice? A man. Still refer to that little child as a man to this day. Yeah, man. See, family, these folks, man.
This is not just about that photo. It's about what it means with his position of power in the league now and the NFL now and the position of power the Cowboys have, right? And this is part of what the Washington Post is doing, examining the NFL's, as you guys call, decades-long failure to equitably promote black coaches, right? And yes. Go ahead.
Before she started up, I would be remiss if I didn't make this point too. See, I'm getting on Jerry Jones, and we're going to light StephenASmith up, because that's coming up here very soon, very shortly. But I would be remiss if I didn't make this point. It's one thing to get in here and you playing and you're an athlete in these different sports leagues, okay? That's your talent, that's your passion, that's what you want to do. But as long as we've seen, yes, I have to go here with it, as long as we've seen how our players are treated, especially if you're an athlete in the NBA, the NFL, whichever league, okay, and you see how you're being treated, by now, you know what you're supposed to do? It takes courage and manhood to do this, and you have to remember your proper role as a builder, being a black man. You're supposed to say, you know what? We've been doing this for 20, 30 years, man. We don't have no black owners. They don't want to let us be coaches. We need to practice what Dr. Claude Anderson taught us, group economics. Let's go start our own league. There's no, look, y'all want to know what a powerful statement would be right now? Let me show y'all something, right? We're going to use the NBA. Do you know what a powerful statement it would be if the greater majority, let's just say, you know what? I ain't going to even say all the teams. That's what I would like to see. Just 5 teams in the NBA. If all the black players said, you know what? This bullshit y'all did with our brother Kyrie Irving, okay, cool. You can do that. This your shit. All of us are going over here to Ice Cube's Big 3. Fuck you and everything you stand for. If just 5 teams of black men had the courage to do that, do you understand that that would turn them upside down? They'd be like, where did these niggas find all this integrity that we thought we beat out their ass when they signed these contracts? If they had the strength and the intestinal fortitude to break that $40 million slave chain, man, they could change a lot overnight. Just 5 teams. Just 5. So I had to point that out. When they show you who they are, believe them, man. We don't keep begging for them to let me in. Fuck it. You go build your own shit. And salute the Ice Cube for doing that. More of them brothers need to go support him. Just think about it, man. If they did that, man, because look, I'm just going to say it like it is. Whatever sports league we in, if we leave the league fall flat, other white people don't want to see other white people compete like that. They really don't. They really don't. You would lose so much money overnight. Think about it. If we really had real black-owned, black-built HBCUs that we own, operate, and control, and we had our kids in these, because that's exactly what them athletes should have been investing in, building real HBCUs that we own, operate, and control, and fund. Imagine if all the black kids never went to a PWI, played for our schools, because don't want to hear nothing about we can't make that shit trend. Everything in this country that's trendy is because of us. We just don't realize we need to apply that to ourselves. So I had to make that point, but I'm going to let Becky keep talking here.
This story is part of a long series we've been doing called Blackout, which is examining the issues in the league about the fact that almost 70% of the workforce is black, and yet there are only 3 head coaches. One of the things our data has found is that mid-level black coaches who do manage to get head coaching jobs waited an average of 9 years longer in mid-level assistant coaching jobs than their white counterparts. So there's some very striking inequities within the league. As the league,
bitch, it ain't a striking inequity. It's disrespect. Imagine you wouldn't have a league if it wasn't for the black players. Think about before they actually started allowing us into these sports leagues. It was bland and boring. Go back and look at old footage of what the NBA was when it wasn't nothing but a bunch of mayonnaise running up and down the court. Go back and look at what the NFL was back before black players started getting in there. Man, when we came in, we changed the game, man. That's when the real revenue started being generated. In fact, the business, that's when merchandise really started to come into play. Oh, yeah, I'm going to talk that talk here tonight. That's when merchandise came into play, and they realized that, damn, you know what? We can actually market merchandise based off these players. People like them and they're talented. See, without us, nothing moves. But see, here's where they win at. If you can condition the actual living, viable asset that you're not worth much, they got you by the balls. I don't know what it's going to take beyond the Kyrie Irving treatment for these Negroes to realize that you're going to have to hurt them financially. Look, when the contract's about to expire, they need to walk away. I get it. You say, okay, I don't want to go through no legal battles with them. All right, cool. I get that. When your contract up, don't resign. Go support Ice Cube shit. Make that pop, man. Let's get that going. Same thing with NFL. Somebody need to have the courage to start our own black-owned football league. I'm going to tell you where you can really get it off the ground at, because we know they always try to sabotage shit. And I'm just going to throw this out here. We talking business. So anybody that don't like Pan-Africanism or whatever, don't get in your feelings. I'm not talking about Pan-Africanism. I'm talking smart business. Go start your league over there on the continent somewhere in one of those countries. If you can do it right, get somebody on the play, get us to play. Once you get it off the ground, then you can move it on back over here, because home base is not somewhere where the white supremacists control. I'm just saying, not directly control anyway. I'm just speaking of a possible alternative, because see, when you are put in a situation where you're dealing with a problem, you start to come up with solutions. And see, this is the problem that we have with a lot of these brothers in these sports leagues. They've been taken out of thinking mode, and the only thing they know to do is to practice their craft, because that's what got them to where they are. Don't ever turn your mind off as a black person. Your mind is supposed to be in exponential and in perpetual learning mode, because what you learn contributes to how you will live later on and for generations down the line beyond you. So that's the point I want to make about that. Let me let her finish talking.
And by the way, Jerry Jones was the only owner to talk to us for this series in any in-depth way. We give him a lot of credit for sitting down and having this very difficult conversation.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up, right? They all should have talked to you, by the way. But look, one of the sportscasters, well-known retired sportscaster in Dallas, Dale Hansen, said, "What frustrates me most is he, meaning Jerry Jones, is in such a position, such a leader, that if he would take a strong stance, he could be the force of change in the NFL." And it seems like from your reporting, Jones agrees that he could be the change maker here for the league.
And see, if any black player in the NFL happen to come across this broadcast, I got a question for you. Just because Becky said that he could be the change maker for the league, do you really think that you're supposed to sit around and wait on if a white man decide to do something when you got millions of dollars to do your own thing? I just want to know the answer to that question.
He did agree, and that was one of the more interesting things in our conversation with him, which lasted well over 2.5 hours. He said, "I understand that. I agree with that." We discussed why he hadn't been at the forefront of this issue until now. And the short answer to that is that he's been more concerned with trying to win, Super Bowls and appointing, men who were old friends of his or who he knew to the job. And a college teammate of his second head coach was Barry Switzer, and again, a guy he went way back to Arkansas with. And so, he's forthright in trying to address these tough questions. It doesn't mean you'll always be satisfied by his answers. But again, he was one of the only owner to really.
If the answer does not produce change that we can see, fuck Jerry Jones and his answers.
Sit down and talk to us to this extent about it.
All right, so you have to give him some credit there, but I mean, listen, there were.
No, we don't, Don Lemon. Break that bullshit. See, that's what I'm talking about. Well, we got to give him some credit. No, look, let me ask y'all something, right? Why are we the only people expected to give somebody credit for not doing a damn thing? We got to give him credit. See, that's why I can't stand Don Lemon punk ass. He don't have no kind of integrity whatsoever either. Got to give him credit. For what? He didn't do shit.
Failures, and there are failures in the NFL, as this is pointing out. So then, what is, as you have been reporting this, again, Sally, it's great. Everyone should read this. It's fascinating. So what's the solution here? What do you think should be done?
The solution is what I just said earlier. Brothers start walking away from these damn leagues and building our own. That's the damn solution.
Well, I think one solution is the NFL has launched an inaugural accelerator program. It's not a solution. It's a tool. It's a mechanism to try to help owners get to know owners more.
Bitch, if it's not a solution, why you come handing it to black folks like we supposed to be satisfied with that? Because, see, nobody in the dominant society accepts anything other than results. We have to become a result-minded people. It's not a solution, but it's a start. We couldn't. Nah, fuck all that. We do exactly what you want. If you wouldn't accept it for you, don't hand it to us. In other words, when it comes to anything across the board in politics, whether we're dealing with sports, especially business, think of it this way. If they come trying to give you something that's not a solution, How many of you in here would be okay with somebody chewing up some food, then spitting it on a plate saying, here's your portion? If you wouldn't be satisfied with that, don't accept that bullshit that she talking about.
Personally, what a lot of times what they lack are the close personal relationships. That's one thing we've heard. Owners don't spend much time with them. Owners talk to lots of head coaches. They talk to very few assistant coaches. If you're an owner of the New York Giants or the Dallas Cowboys, you're not probably spending a great deal of time talking to your running backs coach. So this accelerator program is one idea to try to get those relationships moving along. We'll see if it works. Quite frankly, a much better idea is for a team like the Dallas Cowboys, a real maker of manners, to hire a black head coach and to have a winning record or win a Super Bowl with one. When Tony Dungy was hired and won Super Bowls with the Indianapolis Colts, it definitely did.
And they didn't pay Tony Dungy what he was supposed to get paid either. They really didn't.
It trigger a moment there where the NFL looked like it was going to become much, much more diverse in its head coaching ranks. And then, as our series reported, it actually moved backward. It constricted again.
Yeah. Sally Jenkins joins us, and David Moranis is also the co-writer on it. It's from the Washington Post. Jerry Jones helped transform the NFL, except when it comes to race. Again, it is fascinating and in-depth read, and I think everyone should check it out. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we finna get to this whole StephenASmith situation. Yeah, y'all knew I was going to go straight to the show to deal with this. A lot of people have already covered it, but I'm going to point out some other things here tonight. Let's go ahead and play this clip. We heard Jerry Jones give his excuse, but we're going to get into Mr. Hoppin' Bob here, putting the cape on for Master Jerry.
Just as a reminder to me of how to improve and do things the right way.
Okay. A little context here. The Cowboys are one of 7 teams not to have had a black head coach and have had 2 black coordinators since Jones has owned the team. But their highest football executive vice president of player personnel, Will McClay, is black. Jones has complied with the Rooney Rule, in which teams have to interview minority candidates. Jones said his decisions are made for business reasons, not race. Stephen A., your reaction to all of this?
I'm pretty pissed off. And let me say this.
Look at this horseshoe crab hairline having bastard right here. Yeah, see, remember what I said earlier at the beginning of this broadcast? I want y'all to really look at and listen to the way this man is talking. This is supposed to be a black man. He's of Caribbean descent. Again, in case you just coming in, I'm not saying all Caribbean people or all continental Africans are like this. I'm speaking on the tether class that exhibits this damn behavior. And every woman in this chat room looking at this, I want you to tell me if you would be proud to be married to this son of a bitch talking like this. I'm going to let him start talking.
I'm pissed off, but not for reasons that people would think. I'm very, very fond of Jerry Jones. And I'm not hiding that from anybody. Is his record perfect? No. But I'm pissed off because he doesn't deserve what just happened. He doesn't deserve it. Our report said.
Again, I opened the broadcast with those photos of Emmett Till and George Stanley Jr. for a reason. Did they deserve what happened to them? They were 14 too, Stephen. See, this is the problem with motherfuckers like him that are not connected to our lineage. When they come over here and they kiss ass to the point where they get where he is, they're not connected to nothing dealing with us. That includes you too, Roland Martin. Fort Chalmers, prime ribs, Martinez. Yeah, it's going to be some strays because, see, they all fit into the same category. The Stephen A. Smiths, the Roland Martins, the Candace Owens, each one of them, see, this is the problem. You're not connected to our lineage. So then you start telling us how we supposed to or not supposed to feel about things that affect our people. I'm going to let this bastard talk, though, because we're going to break down a lot about this thing, man.
14 years old. Yeah. Another report said he was 15 years old. At minimum, that's 65 years ago. You're going to bring up a picture of Jerry Jones standing at this protest.
You damn right we're going to bring it up, and that wasn't no motherfucking protest. You ignorant son of a bitch. See, we call this a shit eater down south where I'm from. A protest, you standing there with signs or something. A protest isn't where you physically threatening nobody, trying to block them from getting no damn education, you coward, gutless son of a bitch, you. See, he don't even have no type of shame about himself with what he's saying because, one, it didn't happen to his people. Number two, even if it did, he would have been, let me tell you what he would be if he was down wherever he from, okay? He would have been the person that if you was down there and Marcus Garvey was trying to get his Pan-Africanism movement going down there in Jamaica, he would have been one of the Sambos that turned on Marcus. That's what you're looking at right here. And see, you run over here and you bring that same flunky coward-ass mentality up on our people. Nah, we ain't having that. We're going to draw a line in the sand on this bullshit tonight.
No question. What was happening is not something that anybody as a black person should be appreciative about. We had 6 students at that particular North Little Rock High School that was trying to desegregate the school.
No one should be okay with it.
Nobody should be okay with that.
Regardless of
We
race.
understand that.
No, you don't understand it. Because, see, if you know that we shouldn't be okay with it, then that means there must be punishment. If you know that we're not supposed to be okay with it, as foundational black Americans, that's our lineage, that happened to nobody else, then there's supposed to be punishment. All that word salad and that symbolism bullshit, see, we're going to have a zero tolerance for that.
We get all of that. We also understand what we as black people and as black folks.
And this is another thing I'm going to have a broadcast coming up on dealing with too. Whenever these damn tellers start talking about that we this, all these French-speaking coons, I'm going to definitely go into detail on a broadcast about that. These French-speaking coons, we this, we that. Nah, ain't no we, motherfucker. Your people didn't go through this shit. And then for those that try to say, well, what about Jim Crow? You chose to come here. You chose to come here. You knew what was going on. And if you didn't like it, you could have took your ass back to Haiti, back to Jamaica, back to whatever African nation you came from for those that look like us. So I don't want to hear that. You came here by choice and made a choice to stay. That's how that went. That's how that went. We this, all this we stuff. And see, notice how when they talking, they trying to say, yeah, we get all that. Like, oh, it's no big deal. Nah, it is a big deal. We through playing these games over here for these people trying to trivialize and minimize the things that happen to our people. Nah, it's cut the check time, and we're not going to allow it to be minimized no more. We shouldn't have never did it. This is long overdue.
Black men have to deal with. And by the way, to some degree, we still deal with a lot of things, and we all know it. Racism is alive and well. Bigotry and prejudice is alive and well. We get all of that. What I'm saying.
Notice how he keeps saying that phrase, we get all that. See, translate what we get all that means. We get all that when you hear these sambos like DJ Academics, them fresh and fit fuck boys over there. I'm talking to you too, Myron Gaines and Fit, whatever the fuck the rest of your name, Walter Weeks, whatever your name is. I'm talking to y'all too. I'm talking to all of y'all that exhibit this bootlicking, cowardly mindset that is not becoming of anybody wearing black skin if you a man. What they mean is, yeah, we experienced that. Well, you know, this is just what we got to tolerate, you know, to get what we need to get. You are less than the dick. You look, cockroaches have more dignity than these bastards that sound like this. That's exactly how I see them. That's exactly how I see them. Let's let them continue.
Here's the part that bothers me. You want to get on Jerry Jones and his track record, fine. In 2003 or so, you know what? You should have hired. Dennis Green shouldn't have got an interview on the phone. It should have been an in-person interview. Right. You should have followed the letter of the rule of the law as it pertained to the Rooney Rule. He wanted Bill Parcells, universally recognized one of the greatest football coaches we've ever seen. It was clear he wanted Bill Parcells. Nobody else was going to have a chance of getting that job. That's what he wants to do. You want to malign him for that? Fine. You want to point out that he's one of 7 black NFL owners.
Look at him. The Sambo started stuttering. See, family, while you listen to this motherfucker speak, look how far he going out his way to defend this old, wrinkled up, racist ass white man, Jerry Jones. Now, next, I'm going to ask you a question. All of these white asses, particularly this one that StephenASmith is kissing, right now, tomorrow, okay? Let's just say tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, he wake up, put his little shiny tap shoes on, get up with that fucked up ass hairline that he got on and the little cheap ass suits that you wear. Say he got up One of the white women decided to Me Too that ass. You think Jerry Jones and all these white people gonna be putting the cape on and get on national television and start extolling the praises of how great a man Stephen A. is, and oh, I know Stephen wouldn't do that. You think they really would go against any white woman accusing him of something like that? As hard as he going in the paint for Jerry Jones' racist ass, let that sit with you for a minute while you hear this bastard speak. Because see, when we break down these portraits of these flunkies and these tethers like this, we really have to make sure the shame stick to their asses and how incompetent it is for you to sit up here on national TV with the cape on for a white man that wouldn't even blink twice if your punk ass was accused of something tomorrow.
That's never hired an African American as a head coach. Fine, do all of that. Attack him for that. Go ahead, no problem. I see a plethora of African Americans employed by him. I see black players who played for him who rave about this man and what he's done for them on a personal level.
Notice what he's saying now. I see a bunch of black people employed by him. They actually think that because a motherfucker give you a job, that means they have the right to mistreat you. See, that's the difference between these tethers that come over here. I've heard that on the Fresh and Fit Fuckboy podcast. I've heard them say it. Look at all the opportunities you guys got. You in the greatest country in the world. You don't even realize it. See, you can call them all kinds of niggas to their faces, spit on them, put your hands on them. Whatever you want to do, as long as they over here somewhere where they ain't got to be living in third world conditions. And see, let me say something to you. You Stephen A. Smiths, Roland Martins, you Myron Gaines, all the rest of you that have that mentality. You know why them nations that you come from are fucked up like that besides white supremacy? I'm going to tell you why them nations like that. Because you are too much of a punk bitch to build shit. Let me tell you something right now. I'm not dumping on nobody that's in bad conditions in them countries over there where these motherfuckers be running from. But I'm going to teach you a lesson over here that Foundation of Black Americans have lived by. And this is something that I know is a standard. I don't care which part of our culture, which is different from region to region over here for Foundation of Black Americans and Freedmen, whether you're in the South, North, East, West, you can still be clean even if you poor. Some of them places over there that look like that, I'm like, okay, goddamn it, just get together as a group of men and clean the shit up. You too lazy to do that? Yeah, we want to talk about lazy, motherfucker. Where you from right now, Stephen? I bet you ain't built a damn thing over there, boy. You over here eating off of us and the opportunity that we made for you to bring your bad hairline having ass over here. Let's let this bitch continue, man.
But if you want to go by his hiring record when it comes to head coaches, no problem. Can't go the executive route because we know it's him. You know what I'm saying? He want to be the president, the GM, the owner. He want to do everything. And then he's got his children that he leans on as well. So he can't go the executive route. But you want to get on him about the head coaches, fine. But you're going to bring up a photo of him when he was 14, 15 years old?
Yes, because he was a white supremacist at 14, 15 years old, just like Tamir Rice was a grown man at 11 and 12. That's right. We're going to bring it up.
65 or 66 years ago. This is where cancer culture gets into the mix, and you're making an attempt to eradicate him, what he stands for, and all he has done. I will remind you, we've had Senator Robert Byrd, who passed away a few years ago, that was a member of the KKK. We've had other politicians, whose record, who didn't want the segregate, who didn't want desegregation. Right. The George Wallaces of the world, the Bull Connors of the world, and others, okay? We've seen all of this. Now,
let me tell you something right here, family. I'm stopping it right here for a reason, because I want you all to remember the words that he just said. He rattled off some of the most stomped down, hardcore white supremacists in history. So you can miss me with anybody saying, well, they just don't understand. They need to be taught. These motherfuckers know what happened to us. They know the history very well. See what you're looking at with this punk right here? This is somebody that's communicating to you that I know they did all of this, but I'm a coward. So let me just duck low. Hopefully Master won't see me and he'll throw me some crumbs every now and again so I can survive like the parasite that I am. That's what this punk son of a bitch is communicating to us. And let me tell you something. As a Foundation of Black American man that have a lot of very notable figures in my family history, when I started researching who all we were related to throughout history, this disgusts me on a level that I can't even put into words. I don't want no man standing next to me with this type of cowardice. I don't care what culture you come from. This is embarrassing. Do you hear me? Women of these cultures where you hear these Stephen A. Smiths, the Candace Owens, Roland Martins, this is embarrassing for your men to talk this way. What they gonna build for you with mentalities like this, where the only way they know how to survive is up under a white man's left ass cheek? You ain't shit. Let's let him continue.
Elected officials on Capitol Hill that are implementing and legislating policy that affects our lives. But we're going to go to Jerry Jones. And by the way, I don't have a problem with the photo. I don't have a problem. If he was 30.
We know you don't have a problem with it because you don't have no type of integrity whatsoever.
35, 40 years old, that's different. Right. 14, 15 years old.
You're a bold-faced lie, Stephen. If they caught her in her age, you still be putting the cape on for him.
14, 15 years old. Right. So now some folks are going to get to look at Jerry Jones, and who's from Arkansas. It's the South. We understand what the South represented. You understand what I'm saying? Remember.
It wasn't just the South, jackass. It was the entire country. And you know that because you named off white supremacists from different regions of the country. He knows that, family. All of them know it. Every last one of them that's selling out for $1, they know the history. They're not ignorant. Don't ever give them that kind of pass.
When slavery ended with the Emancipation Proclamation, you talk about 1863 and what have you. What did Dr. Martin Luther King talk about? Well, you didn't give black folks nothing. You were you.
Don't you ever utter the name of any of our grandmaster teachers, you slimy, gutless, weasel son of a bitch, you. You're not even worthy to speak these men's names. Because Martin Luther King, whether you agree with his methods or not, I respect that elder for what he tried to step up and do. See, you need to understand something. I'm going to go back to us actually recognizing and celebrating our grandmaster teachers and our icons and people that came before us. It's one thing to do something where we're at today, where we have their examples to look back on, whichever method you choose. It's another to be the first and step up and have the courage to do something like that. This man ain't even worth a fraction of what Martin Luther King was, so you shouldn't be speaking his name. You really shouldn't. Let's let him continue.
You ridded slavery from them, but you gave them no land. But you gave white peasants from Europe land in the West and the Midwest, okay? So we understand from an historical perspective where it all comes from, what the South represented at least once upon a time, and in some people's eyes still to this day.
Ain't no some people's eyes still to this day, boy. It's still the same. It's still the same nationwide. But see, let me show y'all something, right? And I'm talking to my own cold Caribbean brothers and sisters and my own cold continental African brothers and sisters. I'm doing this for a reason because, again, in case you're just coming in, I am not blanking at all of you. What I am pointing out to you is this is why we ride so hard on our own coons and these tethers that come from your cultures over there. Because, see, the reason why a lot of y'all don't have shit back where they from and where you from is because of Stephen A. Smith. And let me tell you why. Let me make sure I'm unequivocally clear on what I mean by that. This bastard right here is the son of a bitch that if we were trying to break off them plantations, he would run and go tell the slave master. That's what you're looking at right here. You ostracize and you punish motherfuckers like this. They shouldn't be able to come nowhere around your society and your culture. And when you know who these Sambos and Sambets are, you need to tell us if you're coming over here to our country that we built. See, we put our coons on Front Street. You know who they are, the Jesse Lee Petersons, the David Clarks. We go ahead and put them out there so you know. The problem with some of you, some not all, y'all know who they are and you don't tell us. You need to put them out there. These people are a shame to your cultures and they are a cancer to your nations. Because anything that you try to build, they're going to destroy it because they always looking over here that, well, it'll be better if I can get up on the white people even if I have to sell my own people out. That's how they look at y'all. Let's let them continue.
But we're going to lean on somebody when he was 14, born and raised in the South, and we're going to pick it up 66 years later to say, you know something?
Yeah.
You ain't hire a black coach.
Not just 66 years. If it was 666 years until we are compensated for what we'll do, you damn right. We picking it up.
I think that's pretty low. I really, really do. I think that's...
It's not any lower than you, Stephen A. Smith. It's not any lower than you.
I think that part is pretty low. If he were an adult, that would be different. But a 14, 15-year-old kid raised in the South who literally is just standing there looking, and we use that to bring up in the year 2022. Oh.
There we go with this in the year 2020. See, when the people keep saying that and they quote the current year as if things have changed, see, let me show you the further detachment that he has from our people as foundational Black Americans. Let's start right here. Let's start right here. I'm not going to even start with our brother George Floyd. Let's start right here. Go back and look at what happened to Botham Jean. That brother was Caribbean. Go back and look at what happened to him. It doesn't get more law-abiding than you sitting in your own damn home, minding your own business, and some fucking race soldier like Amber Geiger come in and blow your head off. Just blow you away. Who's riding the hardest to get justice for that brother's family? Who was it? Did you see StephenASmith jump up and go in on Amber Geiger as hard as he riding for Jerry Jones, and as much criticism, StephenASmith, that you have for other Black people that's getting on your Sambo sellout ass? Since you say you got all the smoke, I got smoke too, motherfucker. I'm going to point out the stuff that most people ain't going to say to you. Where was you at for Botham Jean? That was one of y'all people, man. We was the one riding the hardest to get justice for him. That should have been your community doing that out there with us. You should have been saying something before we said something. And then I have to mention it. Family, I'm going to tell y'all something. We all have ups and downs with our family members. We done all been through shit with them. But I can tell you one damn thing. Right now, today, if something happened to me at the hands of a white supremacist, ain't nobody in my family would be hugging on my motherfucking killer, man. Oh, yeah, I'm going there with it. Because, see, if you able to do that, flesh of your flesh, blood of your blood, this boy's brother up there hugging his damn brother's killer. The piece of shit that took the life of your brother who your mother brought into this world, you don't have no respect for him to do that. Well, I'm going to tell you, that's not us. We ain't cut from that cloth. But StephenASmith is. Roland Martin is. The Fresh and Fit folk boys, they are. Yeah, they cut from that cloth. They'll sell their own people out just to get a hug from a white person. And usually that would be something we would be saying in a figurative context, but we saw that with our own eyes. That's a shame that I'm never going to forget. I have never seen any of us do that to somebody that killed one of our loved ones. Don't tell me you the same as us, boy. We ain't got that in us. Let's let this punk continue.
Oh, this is where you are. You got to explain this. You ready to explain what you did when you were 14?
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I can explain it, Stephen. I can explain it because you know what I wasn't doing? Let me tell you what I wasn't doing. I wasn't fucking with people in other races and communities for no reason for them just existing. We're never doing that. Most of us wouldn't. I'll tell you what else I wasn't doing at 14 either. I wasn't some buck dancing, sambo ass kissing punk at 14 either. My folks didn't raise me that way. And most men in this chat room wasn't raised that way. But you were. See, I'm going to tell y'all something. Look at his face, man. Look at his face. Listen to his voice. Listen to how he's been all these years. When you see this, you've seen what his family has accepted. I guarantee you, his father's like that. I guarantee you, everybody that had a hand in raising him, this is acceptable in their family. I promise you, 9 times out of 10, I guarantee you most of his family members ain't got no issue with what he doing. Ain't none of them probably gonna ever come out and say, hey, man, look, that's my brother, my cousin, whatever, but I don't get down with none of that he got going on. Nah, that's what you come from, Stephen. And see, even though you're a wealthy man right now, that's the reason why you ain't gonna never really build nothing of consequence for your people. And when you go, the only thing that people gonna really remember you for is kissing ass. Not even your sports job, Stephen. People gonna remember you for being a bootlicking, white ass kissing sellout. That's what your label is gonna be when you leave here, man. That's it. That's all you're gonna ever mean. That's it.
Right.
I can't I don't know if I want to, especially how the world would perceive it today.
Yeah.
And I'm 55. Yeah. This man is 80. Yeah. 66 years ago. Come on, y'all.
Yeah, I have a 14-year-old daughter, and, you know.
Listen to this damn Sambo speaking next here. If you thought it was bad with Stephen, listen to this.
At 14, I'm satisfied with the answer that he gave. That he was there out of curiosity. Wasn't like that he was there throwing something at the students. He wasn't out there yelling at him. There's no photo. It's a photo of him just being curious. Yeah. And
he's saying that like he got proof. Listen to this piece of shit.
How influential a 14-year-old in our time would be a 9th grader influenced by 10th graders and people that you look up to about what's going on at your school.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder where the origins of this picture is coming from. And it just pops in my head, maybe Dan Snyder, what he said about opposition and having stuff on people. I wonder, because it's just curious that this comes up at this particular time.
Because it's coming out of Washington?
Yeah, and the fact that it's coming up at this time when we know the heat is on the Commanders.
When Daniel Snyder basically said, I got stuff on everybody.
Right, but for me, I can't hold a 14-year-old accountable for his actions, even if he was there yelling and screaming, because how influential.
Family, let me go on record and say something right now, and I'm going to be either the first or one of the first to make this statement over here on my platform. And I'm making this statement because I want our people to understand the role we're supposed to have as foundational Black American men. And I damn sure want our women to hear me say this. Family, especially our sisters, these bastards on TV in these suits, StephenASmith, Bart Scott, Roland Martin, Jalen, okay? They cannot be allowed anymore to represent the face of successful, dignified Black manhood. They never should have been. We're going to have to do it. We're going to have to reclaim that, brothers in this chat room. We're going to have to reclaim our image back. Just because you're a Black man on TV with a suit, that don't mean shit. That's not success. If your mind is the mind of these sellouts and Sambozos right here, you can't even rock the title of Black man. We're going to have to take that back for real. I'm not being hyperbolic when I say that. These are not one of us. I don't even want to call them boys, but they damn sure not men. We taking that title back. You can't represent us like this and embarrass our people on TV this way. Bunch of shit-eating coons sitting up here. Show me the white equivalent where a white person is going to bat that hard for a Black person like that. I ain't never seen it. Somebody produce a clip of any group of white men on TV going that hard for a Black person. Let's go right here. We're a group of white men. Even if they say they disagree with how Kyrie is being treated, where's a group of them on national TV in unison buck dancing this hard? Huh? Show me that. We're going to have to reclaim that title, brothers. Let's let them continue.
You are at that age and following the crowd. But it does make me kind of look at the history of Jerry Jones when you think about, he was the only owner that, didn't allow his players to take a knee for the cause, right? So you look at it that way, but I don't think this is a smoking gun like, aha, we got you.
Oh, no, it is a smoking gun, motherfucker. It is a smoking gun. And like I said, if the NFL had any balls, let me tell you what I would like to see and what we should be doing if them brothers that's in these different sport leagues were on code and had the right mind frame and they realized the power that a Black man is supposed to have, especially when you get some wealth behind you. The NBA should be supporting the NFL, and the NFL should be supporting the NBA as far as the Black players taking whatever stance they're going to take. That's what should be happening. That's what should be happening. They should back each other's plays on defending themselves against this type of anti-Black racism, okay? The anti-Black racism I'm talking about is the things that Jerry Jones have done over the years. And then just think about all the stuff we hadn't heard about that he's done. He don't hire no Black coaches or whatever because of business reason. That means that you don't think nobody Black can do the job well. But they can go play for you, huh, though, Jerry? These shit eaters here, man. Let me let this boy continue, man.
It's been no records of him, no tapes of him, saying, derogatory things about the African-American community. Right. So for me, this is a nothing burger, and I know that, in this cancel culture, we want to have outrage, but I can't be outraged about a 14-year-old that's, sitting there watching some black kids and maybe he's never had encounters with.
Listen to this boy, man. And I'm saying, boy, you damn right. See, family, let me make this statement. I don't have children. But if I did, and I had to do this, and I had a son especially, or a daughter who thinks the world of their father, you the head of your household, your wife, and then you get on TV and do this, and you come home and look them in the face, how the hell you gonna hold your head up as a man? I'm just asking that question. How you gonna hold your head up as a man when you know you done got on TV making a fool of yourself and just throw your integrity out the window like that on TV for your white folks? I'm going to tell you, Bart Scott, Stephen, and all the rest of them, if your children don't respect you, you can't demand respect from them when you don't exhibit respect. I'm going to say it again. If you have children and you a buck dancing Sambo doing this and they don't respect you, you don't respect yourself and your people. So don't you dare ask your children to respect you when you carrying the image of black manhood like this. Let this bastard continue.
Curiosity.
Can I just say one thing? As the only person that's not black, and I didn't know where you guys were going to go. You could have went the total opposite end of the spectrum and no one would have faulted you. So it's really big of all of you to show so much grace in this situation when you didn't have to. And I hope it's lended on the other side of the coin.
Yeah, I just wonder, what I do wonder about is not a 14-year-old who's in a picture 3 years after Brown versus Board of Education, right, when things are desegregated and people are opposing it. I don't wonder about that. I don't wonder about 65 years ago when, even if you weren't standing and protesting, a lot of people still believe what they believed about racism, about black people. I don't wonder about that. I don't even wonder about how, even if there was another incident in Arkansas with 9 kids trying to segregate.
Right across the city, right in the same city,
So
right across a few miles away.
I don't wonder about that.
Right.
But what I will say is now you're 80 and you're an owner, and forget the picture. This is separate of the picture. You have an opportunity. And that, I think, was what the article was trying to point to. You have an opportunity to change hiring practices. You have an opportunity to help change even your kids and the culture of the NFL. Jerry Jones is a trailblazer. And when it comes to
Trailblazer what, boy? Anti-black racism? What's it? Well, you know what? He's a trailblazer for upholding the status quo. White supremacy in the NFL, he's that. What kind of trailblazer is Jerry Jones? Huh? Because even if you're trying to attribute it to when the Cowboys were winning and they won the Super Bowls and all of that, that was the players that did that, not Jerry Jones. I wonder what trailblazing he talking about, family.
To owners, a lot of owners don't really like him.
Right.
They don't really rock with him, right? I've been in meetings with owners. I've helped them go. They don't really. He's a trailblazer. Yeah. And so why not be a trailblazer?
Is he a trailblazer because white people told you to say that, son? Where you see him being a trailblazer at? See, so many of them are used to just repeating something that white people say. Just because white people say something around you, that don't mean that you go with it. Because, see, if you're willing to do that, that means that when they start telling lies, you're going to go with that, too. Trailblazer, my ass.
When it comes to not only hiring, but also.
And that was the end of that clip. That was the end of that clip. And, see, I'm going to bring it right here to one of our great grandmaster teachers that I had the opportunity to meet as a child, before he passed. And I'm going to read the statement. When white folks can't defeat you, they'll always find some Negro, some boot-licking, butt-licking, buck-dancing, bamboozled, half-baked, half-fried, sissified, punctified, pasteurized, homogenized Negro that they can trot out in front of you. And that's exactly what we just seen here tonight in this broadcast. These people like this, they don't come from the stock of a Dr. Khalid Muhammad. They don't come from the stock of a Malcolm X. They don't come from the stock of a Fannie Lou Hamer. They don't come from the stock of a Harriet Tubman. They don't come from the stock of an Ida B. Wells. They don't come from the stock of an Aretha Franklin. They don't come from the stock of any of our grandmaster teachers, elders, and people that put their very lives on the line for the safety and the future of our people. They don't come from that. So our mentalities are different. which is why I'm communicating to our own cold Caribbean and continental African brothers and sisters. When you come over here, you need to be on code with us against white supremacy. Because see, the minute that you go and jump up in and adopt that StephenASmith mindset, we're going to have to throw you over there in that category. Especially when you get into elected office and you start carrying this coonish, cowardly mentality on forward and you are in control of making policy decisions. Oh, no, we can't have that. We can't have that. Just like we hold our own accountable, we're going to have to hold you accountable too. You come over here off the sacrifices of our ancestors, and then you do what StephenASmith and the rest of them soundboys did. See, over here, we don't have no problem lighting our own coons up. But I don't want to hear this. Oh, you hate Africans, you hate Caribbean people. No. I'm going to tell you what I do hate, though. I'm going to tell you what I do hate. I hate cowardice. I hate disloyalty. I hate lack of integrity. I hate incompetence, because all of those things are things that rot a people and a nation. You can't build anything with them character detriments that I just named off. And that's exactly what StephenASmith exhibited right there. I just had to go ahead and get it off my chest, ladies and gentlemen, because there's been a lot of people talking about it. Since he said shots was fired, I had to go ahead and shoot mine over here. So no matter what he say, from this point on, I just gave you a portrait of what StephenASmith is out of his own mouth. Can't nobody say I made nothing up on him or lied on him. Again, I don't do that on this channel. I'm putting him out here on Front Street because, see, our children have to know what's not acceptable to be a black man in this country. We have a duty and a responsibility to put on Front Street everybody that act like a StephenASmith. Even the sisters with the Candace Owens, y'all supposed to give her the business too. Y'all supposed to give her the business in no uncertain terms. I mean, because see, these people are not us, man, when they start exhibiting this kind of behavior. That black skin that you wearing, that's your uniform, but you've disgraced it because your mind does not match the things that black skin has gone through and the legacy behind it. See, when you wearing this skin, no matter what shade it is, it comes with history and pride over here as a foundation of Black American. It's supposed to come with the same thing, whether you're a Caribbean person or a continental African person. Y'all got your own history where people have suffered and sacrificed for y'all to be where y'all are today. Don't ever dishonor that. Don't ever dishonor that. I don't care where you immigrate to or move to, the UK, United States, Canada, wherever. You carry the pride and history of your people with you, and you link up with other people that wear the uniform of this black skin that we wearing, no matter what shade it is, and you fight back against this damn white supremacy. Because, see, it can't function and exist unless we don't fight it or either we participate in it. StephenASmith is a participant in white supremacy. Roland Martin is a participant in white supremacy. Candace Owens is a participant in white supremacy. The fresh and fit fuck boys, they are participants in white supremacy. Because see, for every one of us that turn our head and look the other way and kiss white ass to keep that system going, they wouldn't be able to keep it functioning if we just took away our support for it. Would it crumble completely overnight? No, but it would damn sure weaken it a lot if we had the balls and the courage to stand up, stick together. And I'd be remiss if I didn't emphasize this point again before I close this broadcast. You brothers and sisters in these sports leagues, you're going to have to stand up, unite, and fight back together. They're not going to give you no seat at their table. You got to leave that shit and build your own. This is why when you get in there and you sign these contracts, don't be fucking your money off so that you can get together with other like minds and actually build something that we own, operate, and control, and pass down. This is why I was so furious when I found out that Timberland and Swiss Beats sold the damn verses to them damn folks, man. What about your family? You could have passed that down and that could have been added to your generational wealth. Every time, look, when they come offering you money for something, that means that it's worth 10 times as much as they paying you. What they giving you is chump change. Then let's just say if they did give you a fair price. I'm going to close this broadcast with this. As a black man, your duty on this planet is to pass down resources and knowledge to your seeds for the future. If you don't do that, you ain't worth a damn. You ain't worth a damn. I've said my piece on it, ladies and gentlemen. I had to get it off my chest as only I could because, see, this needs to be said in no uncertain terms. It needs to be said unapologetically and without any mincing or cutting off or editing or anything. So with that said, in closing the broadcast, again, I'm reminding you all of the holiday that our brother Tariq Nasheed has created that we're going to be celebrating for the first time. Starting December 24, 2022, we'll begin celebrating the Areta holiday, which means arise, okay? I'm going to put this in the chat. I want you all to sign up for this event that our sister Dr. Kenny is hosting at AretaSusseRun.com. This is the website. I'm going to drop this in the chat like I did yesterday because it's going to be held, in the coming month here. And you all can participate in this event virtually. It's down there in Florida, but like I said, go on the website. You can check out the details. I want you to follow the page over here on Instagram. I'll put that in the chat room also. Go over there, run them numbers up, follow the sister, because in addition to promoting this event, the sister is a doctor. She gives a bunch of great health advice over there on her platforms. If you're interested in eating right, you're interested in learning about different types of medication, what to take, what not to take, okay, you can get all that information over there. So with that said, brothers and sisters, make sure you tag that punk bitch StephenASmith in this, or any other coon that you think need a dose of coon medicine, because they ain't going to be able to get through 2-3 minutes of that type of fire that I spit over here on their asses. Tag them all in it. But see, I don't hide. I don't take nothing back. I want them to know I said it. And I want all of y'all to have the spirit and the same mindset to call these motherfuckers out like that in whichever way you choose. We can't keep letting these coons slide no more. So with that said, salute to everybody in here. Much respect to everybody that donated as usual. I will list your names on the community tab an hour after the broadcast. Much respect to you all. Black first, salute, stay safe, and I'll see you all in future content.
There are a lot of misconceptions about Maroons. Typically, I will say that the Maroons were uncivilized, they were unorganized, they were lewd, they were barbaric. These were the people who lived in the bush.
There is no other group on the planet Earth that have taken on the devil the way we have, in his own house.
Some estimates say that there are about 50,000 Maroons that you can find per year throughout the Americas.
The Great Dismal Swamp was an area between that Virginia, North Carolina, the eastern border area. This was a popular area for a lot of not only runaways, but natives. A lot of the black natives hung out there. The Gullah Geechee were known in that area.
Because that's who we are. You can put us anywhere in the world. We are survivors.
If you are really tapped in with your environment and you become one with that ecosystem, right? You know what I'm saying? That ecosystem begins to work with you.
We were robbed of our definition of who we were, which is our nationality and our tribe. And we fell into the description of what we were from someone else's eyes.
Resistance is not just about not only violence and physically fighting back, but there has to be resistance literature, resistance language.
A whole 2 detachments of U.S. soldiers got mowed down by the Black Seminoles. They destroyed an entire U.S. military force. Out of 110 people, they killed 108. That's damn good shooting.
The Black Seminoles were using all types of guerrilla warfare tactics, and these warfare tactics are studied in military schools to this day.
They didn't like Muslim slaves. The same reason they didn't like Indian slaves, because they weren't afraid to die.
Once you realize you're not safe, your children and your families aren't safe, the people who you're bringing in the world are not going to be safe long after you, there becomes a need to stand up and survive at all costs.
We are the Maroons. We are today's Maroons. We are the force that's moving forward. We will never be stopped.